Talk about Shedeur again, Rich, because this indicates that he's got no chance. They're not going to have 4 quarterbacks on the roster in their final 53, and so they're protecting the 3 that they really like right now, and they're using Shedeur as cannon fodder? I don't believe it. And if I'm Shedeur Sanders and I'm the rest of everybody in his circle, I'm thinking, this is it. This is what you wanted.
But even if what you said is true, he can at least go out there and show that it's not.
That's right.
And he deserves to be ahead of the other guys.
Hell yeah. And he could actually zoom in front of him.
The haters said Shedeur Sanders would never get his shot, that he was just cannon fodder, sitting 4th on the depth chart. Well, guess what? Kevin Stefanski just dropped a bombshell that's got every doubter eating their words. The 5th round pick, who came in the most green, according to insiders, is now getting the full starting role against the Panthers on Friday night, and he's playing most of the game, while Kenny Pickett and Dillon Gabriel nurse their injuries on the sideline, and Joe Flacco sits in pajamas to protect him for Week 1. Shedeur is about to show the entire NFL what they missed. This isn't just a preseason game anymore. This is his moment to silence every critic who said he didn't belong. You know what's absolutely wild about this whole situation? Just days ago, the narrative was completely different. The so-called experts were writing Shedeur off, saying he was the odd man out in Cleveland's quarterback room. Albert Breer was on national television saying Sanders came in the most green, questioning whether he could even handle the basic mechanics of calling plays in the huddle. Can you believe that? This is the same quarterback who had Pat Shurmur as his offensive coordinator at Colorado, one of the most respected QB coaches in the game. This is the same young man whose father, Deion Sanders, has been preparing him for the pros since he could hold a football. But here we are, and the tables have completely turned. According to the latest reports from ESPN and CBS Sports, Kevin Stefanski made it official on Wednesday. Shedeur Sanders will not only start Friday night's preseason opener against the Panthers, but he's expected to play the majority of the game. This is unprecedented for a 5th-round rookie who was supposedly behind everyone else just weeks ago. Let me break down exactly what's happening here, because the media spin is getting ridiculous. They want you to believe this is just about injuries, that Kenny Pickett's hamstring issue and Dillon Gabriel's setback are the only reasons Shedeur is getting this opportunity. But that's not the whole story. The Browns had options. They could have signed a veteran. They could have given Snoop Huntley more time to learn the system. Instead, they're trusting their franchise's preseason debut to the guy they supposedly didn't believe in. The truth is, Shedeur has been quietly impressing behind the scenes. Recent training camp reports show he threw 3 touchdowns on day 4 of training camp alone. When he dealt with minor arm soreness last week, the coaching staff was protective of him, the same way they protect their valuable assets. You don't baby a player you consider expendable. And can we talk about the elephant in the room? This game is being nationally televised on NFL Network. Every single team in the league will be watching. If the Browns really thought Shedeur was just practice squad material, would they put him on display for the entire football world to see? Absolutely not. This is their chance to showcase what they've got, and they're betting on number 12. That Rich Eisen said it perfectly. This is a massive opportunity that you would have signed up for on the spot if you were in the Sanders family. Remember, this is the same kid who dropped to the 5th round despite putting up video game numbers at Colorado. Over 3,000 passing yards, 27 touchdowns, and a completion percentage that would make veteran quarterbacks jealous. Yet somehow, 31 teams passed on him multiple times.
What a massive opportunity. Say what you will about preseason. I get it. But if you had told me coming out of the draft, right, that through the OTAs and everything else, Shedeur Sanders was going to start the first preseason game and be the guy. I don't care about there's other injuries or anything like that sort of thing. And Snoop Huntley, again, just got there. So I don't know when you're going to put him in, late 3rd, early 4th, just to throw things out there. If you had told me Shedeur Sanders was going to start and be the guy and not have to look over his shoulder, is Flacco coming in? Is Dillon Gabriel there? Is Kenny Pickett there? What a massive opportunity. Massive.
The doubters want to focus on the negative. They're saying, well, he's only starting because everyone else is hurt. That's exactly the point. In the NFL, your best ability is availability. While other quarterbacks are sitting in the training room, Shedeur is out there grinding, staying ready, proving that he can step up when his number is called. Let's look at what happened during the joint practice with Carolina. Despite limited media access, the reports that did come out were telling. Fred Greet reported that Sanders got quality reps with the second team during 7-on-7 drills, going 2 for 3 with both completions going to his receivers in traffic. That's not the performance of someone who's not ready for the NFL level. But here's where it gets really interesting. And this is where the haters are really going to be mad. Jimmy Horn Jr., Shedeur's former Colorado teammate who's now with the Panthers, was caught on video before practice having an emotional reunion with Sanders. The conversation was telling. It's going to get a little personal. You know what it is. These two know each other's games inside and out, and Horn Jr. knows exactly what kind of competitor he's facing. The media wants to create this narrative that Shedeur is somehow lucky to be in this position. Lucky? This kid has been preparing for this moment his entire life. He's dealt with pressure situations that would break most quarterbacks. Remember, he played in the spotlight at Colorado under intense scrutiny, with every throw being analyzed and criticized. He's been playing meaningful games in hostile environments since he was a teenager. And speaking of pressure, let's address the personal side that nobody wants to talk about. Just last week, news broke about his father Dion's cancer battle. While dealing with that family crisis, Shedeur stayed focused on his preparation, showing up to practice every day, putting in the work. That's the kind of mental toughness you can't teach. Now, the Browns organization is putting their faith in him for the most important preseason game of the year. This isn't just any preseason game. It's the first impression for fans. It's tape that NFL executives will study. It's the beginning of the evaluation process that could determine the trajectory of his entire career. Joe Flacco gave Shedeur the ultimate compliment when asked about the rookie's upcoming start. He said Sanders will remember this moment forever, acknowledging that most players dream about their first NFL appearance since they were 5 or 6 years old. Coming from a Super Bowl champion, that endorsement carries weight, even Myles Garrett. And yes, that shirtless press conference was absolutely legendary. Praise Shedeur's work ethic and approach to the game. When your defensive captain is noticing a rookie quarterback's preparation and professionalism, that tells you something about the impression he's making. The numbers don't lie either. During training camp, multiple reports confirmed that Shedeur has been accurate, decisive, and comfortable in the pocket. The coaching staff has been deliberately limiting his exposure to avoid injury, treating him like an asset worth protecting rather than a throwaway option. But let's get real about what Friday night really represents. This is Shedeur's audition, not just for the Browns, but for the entire league. Every general manager, every offensive coordinator, every quarterback coach will be watching. If Cleveland doesn't see his value after this performance, other teams certainly will. The Panthers' defense isn't going to take it easy on him either. They're fighting for roster spots too, and they'll be coming at him with everything they've got. Dave Canales isn't running a charity. He's evaluating his own players while giving Shedeur a legitimate test. This is where the preseason doesn't matter crowd gets it completely wrong. For rookies, for players on the bubble, for anyone trying to establish themselves, preseason is everything. It's live bullets, it's real competition, it's your chance to prove that the college success wasn't a fluke. The haters keep saying Shedeur is going against players who'll be working at Home Depot in 3 weeks. That's such a ridiculous take. These are professional athletes who've made it to NFL training camps. These are guys who dominated at the college level, who've been working their entire lives for this opportunity. They're not going to roll over for anybody, especially not a rookie quarterback they're trying to take down. That what's really driving the criticism is fear. Fear that they were wrong about Shedeur from the beginning. Fear that a player they dismissed might actually be special. Fear that the draft experts who had him falling to the 5th round might have to admit they missed on evaluating one of the most successful college quarterbacks of the past decade. Think about the story arc here. Shedeur goes from being the most talked about quarterback in the draft to falling to the 5th round. He arrives in Cleveland supposedly behind everyone else on the depth chart. He deals with questions about his readiness, his mechanics, his ability to handle NFL-level competition. And now, just weeks into training camp, he's getting the starting nod for the team's preseason opener. But that's not luck. That's not circumstance. That's a young man who refuses to be defined by other people's limitations and expectations. That's someone who uses doubt as motivation and criticism as fuel. The timing couldn't be more perfect either. With the regular season just weeks away, the Browns are still figuring out their quarterback situation. Joe Flacco might be the safe choice for Week 1, but he's not the future. Kenny Pickett has shown flashes, but hasn't been able to stay healthy. Dylan Gabriel is still adjusting to the professional level. Shedeur represents something different. Upside, potential, and the kind of playmaking ability that can change a franchise's trajectory. He's got the arm talent to make every throw on the field, the mobility to extend plays, and the football IQ that comes from being coached by elite-level talent his entire life. The pressure is real, but so is the opportunity. National television. Primetime slot. All eyes on number 12 in a Browns uniform. This is what he's been working towards since he first picked up a football. This is the moment where preparation meets opportunity, where potential becomes reality. And here's what's going to happen. Shedeur is going to ball out. He's going to show poise in the pocket, accuracy on his throws, and leadership in the huddle. He's going to connect with receivers, extend drives, and probably find the end zone multiple times. When the final whistle blows, the conversation around the Browns quarterback room is going to be completely different. The haters won't know what to say. The doubters will be scrambling to explain how they missed it. The analysts will be backtracking on their earlier assessments. And Shedeur Sanders will be one step closer to proving that he belongs at the highest level of professional football. This Friday night isn't just about preseason football. It's about a young man seizing his moment, silencing his critics, and showing the world that sometimes the best stories come from the most unexpected places. It's about proving that fifth-round picks can become franchise quarterbacks, that doubters can become believers, and that the narrative can change in a single game. So when you're watching on Friday night, remember this moment. Remember when everyone said he wasn't ready, wasn't good enough, wasn't worth the investment. Remember when they called him cannon fodder and questioned his abilities. Because by the end of the game, those same people might be singing a very different tune. The stage is set. The lights are bright. The pressure is real. But for Shedeur Sanders, this is exactly where he's always belonged. In the spotlight, proving people wrong, and showing the world what they missed when they let him fall to the 5th round. Are you ready to witness the beginning of something special? Because Friday night might be the night everything changes for number 12 and the Cleveland Browns. What do you think is going to happen when Shedeur takes that first snap? Will this be the performance that changes everything for the Browns quarterback? Competition? Drop your predictions in the comments below and don't forget to hit that subscribe button because we're going to be covering every single moment of this incredible journey. This is just the beginning, and trust me, you don't want to miss what happens next.